Chapter 3 review. I thought I'd do a couple of problems, make sure everything makes sense. I thought I'd pick a couple of the tricky ones. So I want to look at number 8. Because remember, standard form is ax plus by equals c. Now we already said that 2 of them are not linear, and we talked about why. If you have an x times y or you have a power, it's not linear, okay? So I thought I'd look at 8. Yes, it's linear because it's got x's and y's and there's no multiplication of them, but it's not standard form, okay? So I've got to get that x onto the other side. So I just subtract it. You can probably do that in your head. 2x plus 6y equals 2. And I look at that and I say, is that standard form? Not quite, because it's not in simplest form. Standard form, the GCF of your numbers has to be 1. Those are all divisible by 2, so I have to divide that out. That gives me x plus 3y equals 1. That is standard form, okay? If I look at number 9, well, it doesn't have an x. That means it's a horizontal line, but it's still a line, but it's got a fraction. That doesn't make it not a line. It just means I got to clear the fraction. So I just multiply both sides by 2. Y equals 2. Standard form. A equals 0. There's no x. Okay? All right. Graphing lines. X and y intercepts. This is where you make that little XY table. What are the zeros? Well, if x is 0, that goes away. 2 times 4 is 8. So my y-intercept is 4. If y is 0, x is 2. Okay? And then I got to draw my line. Don't have my ruler handy, so I'm going to just use a straight edge. Any straight edge will do. Okay? All right. Good deal. All right, finding the slope. From a line, I'm looking at rise over run because slope is rise over run. And because it's a picture, I don't have to do any of that subtraction. I just look for what are my points. And ooh, that's a point too. I could count that one. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2, rise over run. Okay, so my slope is 2. Okay. Be careful with the ordered pairs because when you're subtracting your ordered pairs, remember you've got to have your y's on top. Does it matter which one goes first? Absolutely not. So 6, 3, I'll go do the second one first because the numbers are bigger. Minus 5, minus 2. That gives me 1 over 1, which equals 1. My slope is 1. That means if I was graphing, it would go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. You get the idea. Okay, when I have to find a missing value, okay, I always want my r first, so I'm going to use this one first, but I'm going to just set up a proportion. Set it up. Okay, I can simplify the top. 3 minus 9 is negative 6, and the r minus 5 is going to stay the same. But it equals 2, so it equals 2 over 1. And I just do cross products. So 2r minus 10, because I got to distribute, equals negative 6. So you add 10 to both sides. 2r equals 4, r equals 2. So your missing coordinate is 2. All right, graphing direct variation. This is direct variation, y equals kx. Remember, whenever you have an equation like this, it goes through the origin. That means that's your starting point every single time. And then I use my slope. K is a slope. Rise over run, I want to write it as a fraction. So this means I'm going to go up 3, right 1. But I also want to be flexible and say, hey, this could be negative 3 over negative 1. That still is equal to 3, which means I could go down and left. Because sometimes if I get too high on the paper, I need to go the other way. So up 3, right 1, make a point. Down 3, left 1, make a point. the more points you have, the better your line is. Okay? So 3 is better than 2. However, when you have intercepts, you only need 2, because those are the 2 points I'd look at to see if you did it right. Okay, this one has several parts. You want a direct variation equation, and then you want to solve. Okay? Direct variation equation is y equals kx. So I got to find k. So if y equals -8, when x equals -2, then I know that k is equal to 4. So my equation is y equals 4x. This is my direct variation equation. Now it says find x when y is 32. So I'm just thinking, hey, 32 equals 4x. So x has to equal 8. 2 answers. Okay? All right, write an equation for the nth term of each arithmetic sequence. Then graph the first 5 terms of the sequence. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and I already know it's arithmetic. It goes up by 4 each time. So d is equal to 4. I can work backwards and find that a sub 0 is equal to 5. Then I can use my shortcut equation. Okay, remember my shortcut equation is a sub n equals your common difference times n plus a sub 0. So my nth term equation, and this is just a formula. This is not my nth term equation. I got to put some numbers in. So a sub n equals 4n plus 5. Now, how do I graph it? Well, my first ordered pair is 1, 9 because my first term is 9. So 1, 9, 2, 13, 3, 17, 4, 21. What would 5 be? 25. Okay. And if I went backwards 1, see, this would be my y-intercept, and see, those do fall on a straight line, but I don't connect them because it's a discrete function. Okay? All right, write an equation in function notation for each relation. So this is where you've got to look at it and say, ooh, this is direct variation. Okay, because it goes through the origin. That means it's going to be of the form y equals kx. Okay? This one's not, so it's going to be like y equals d, my common difference, or my slope, times x plus a sub 0. So that's just like my arithmetic sequence. Okay? So here I look at my slope, it goes down 1 over 2. So y equals -1/2 x. And function notation just says, well, let's put in an f of x instead of a y. Okay? So when I look at this one, I'm looking for those points. I've got several of them. Up 3 over 1. So y equals 3x. And this is -6. And I can just put f of x. If you put y equals, that's really the same thing. Okay? All right, last 2. For each arithmetic sequence, determine the related function. That just means I want to do what's its equation? What's its nth term equation? So I've got to find that common difference. These go up by 2. If I worked backwards 1, a sub 0 equals -1. Then I can use my shortcut. A sub n equals common difference times n plus a sub 0, so I can just do -1. If I wrote it as a function, okay, f of x equals 2x minus 1. Now, it's got a -1, so it doesn't go through the origin. That means it's non-proportional. This one goes through the origin. This one is proportional. Okay, so if it went through 0, 0, if my a sub 0 was 0, it would go through the origin and it would be proportional. Okay, Hope that helps. See you tomorrow.